Hello, YouTube. How you doing? Pay no attention to the crazy hair. I did not shower this morning. Classy. The reason why is because I'm actually on vacation. I'm gonna shower a little bit later today, but I was going to sleep in, but I did have to come in to the office for a meeting that I was ghosted from. The person did not show up for the meeting and then sent me a message and they're like, "Oh, can we meet next week?" Because the reason why I didn't title this like a lunch break live is because I'm actually off. I'm off today and tomorrow and then Monday. Just taking a little bit of time, but I have some projects I want to work on and some of them, hello Mama Champagne, some of them are here in the office and so I would have eventually made my way to the office, but then hello Janet, hello Grace, welcome, welcome. So I would have absolutely made it to the office anyway, but I came in a little bit early, and so I was like, I'm gonna stay in bed as long as I can. So I didn't shower, so my hair's a little crazy all the time, but that's the reason today. One of the projects for this like vacation time. Hey Dion, how's it going? Is definitely to get a haircut. I have to get rid of this like faux lesbian mullet that I gave myself. And so I bleached my hair so that I could go get a haircut, but I just haven't had time to schedule that yet. But wanted to come on today to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about a little TikTok drama that I am kind of obsessed with. Um, and we're going to talk about new Danessa Myricks. So the new Danessa Myricks palette arrived today, and we're going to talk a little bit about Danessa Myricks. Or is it Danessa Myricks? I've always heard Danessa Myricks, but then I feel like Trixie Mattel, who knows her, calls her Danessa Myricks, and I heard somebody else. I think I heard Makeup by Mario, some like makeup artist or somebody that also knew her referred to her as Danessa Myricks. But then in a more recent video, I heard Trixie call her Danessa Myricks. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Myricks because that's what I've always heard. But I have people who like would know her or do know her. I've heard them refer to her as Danessa Myricks. I don't know. She'll never see this video, so it doesn't matter. She's not going to be mad. But I thought we would come on. But I also wanted to talk about. Oh, Dion, you haven't slept yet. Oh my gosh. You could definitely join the replay crew. You don't have to stay awake for this. I promise I'm not that interesting. But first of all, and I'm going to use some grown-up language. I'm going to use some because I feel it's the only thing that's appropriate. Because I don't know if anybody else has seen this absolute thunder cunt Latasha Mercado on TikTok. I just, I mean, there's always idiots on TikTok. Of course, there are maggots who have TikTok, just like everywhere else. But this woman has some reason gotten under my skin because she's the one that, if you've seen all the people, like so many people are stitching her video where like she's chomping on a piece of burnt toast. Like, bitch, you can't even make toast. What are you here about? But she was talking about all the people who are whining about losing their SNAP benefits because of potentially on November 1st because of the government shutdown. And she's like, well, all you people who are complaining about losing your benefits, what'd you do with October's money? I'm going to ask you that. What'd you do with October's money? And it's like, and then she goes on and she's like, did you buy a bunch of pantry items? Did you stock up and plan? First of all, nobody knew that there was going to be this government shutdown that would potentially like shut down SNAP benefits and things like that. And then, and then, and then, what did they do with October's money? They bought food in October. You absolute piece of human trash. That's why it's a monthly benefit system. You don't get it and think. And so finally, I did see somebody finally like put out a TikTok where they kind of responded and they were like, they were giving analogies. So, like, she acted out little skits of like, hi, I'm here to pick up my prescription for this month. And then she's then playing the pharmacist and she's like, well, let me ask you this. What'd you do with last month's prescription? And like being at a restaurant and be like, "Can I have some more water?" And the waiter's like, and then she plays the waitress who's like, "Let me ask you this. What did you do with that water I gave you 10 minutes ago?" And it's like, it's so stupid on its face and it's so disrespectful and it makes me so angry. And of course she's a maggot. Of course she's a maggot. They always are. They always are. And I know it's like, oh, there are bad people on both sides. Oh, there's like extremists on both sides. It's always the maggots when it comes to shit like this. Always the maggots. Well, people have started digging in to her life. Yes. So she is formerly on food stamps. So she had been on food stamps herself. So she had gotten SNAP benefits, and now that she's like off them, she thinks it's okay to look down on people that are on them and like making judgments about what people are buying. And they put so many restrictions in place. And remember that like some things are very expensive. So when she's talking about, oh, did you buy pantry items and stock up? Were you shopping smart? And it's like, so you're going to complain about what they're buying that are maybe like cheaper processed alternatives. So like you have to shop smart and get more things so that you can just anticipate that you'll have to like pay for November with October. Like, that's so stupid. And then if they are buying the cheaper alternatives, then it's like, oh, well, that's not what you're supposed to be buying. The people who judge people on food stamps, I think there's a special place in hell. I don't even really believe in hell, but I hope that if hell exists, I hope that if hell exists, I hope there's a special place for them. And I hope that it's awful. I'm so sick of it. But people are investigating her. So they found her job and they have reported her to her job and to corporate. And apparently she made another video where now she's saying she's being investigated. And she also, so not only was she on food stamps formerly, and I don't know necessarily the reason why she's off of it, but apparently she also lost custody of her kids. And so there's something about that is like, obviously we never like cheer for people's downfalls necessarily. But I also just like, there's so few times where anybody has consequences in this society. It feels like that there are times where I appreciate the keyboard warriors. And I think that I had recorded this. I didn't know what situation. I pre-record a lot of TikToks when I have a face. I just record a bunch of them. And there's that one, it's that sound. It's been around for a while and I just love it where it's somebody who's like singing auto tune and it's like, I'm not saying she deserved it. All I'm saying is God's timing is always right. And that's obviously my version is terrible. Hello, Don. How's it going? But so I posted a TikTok with that sound where I was like finding out that the food stamp lady is being investigated and might get fired because it's like, yeah, you're a terrible person. You probably should. Yeah, so she lost custody of her kids and was a former SNAP benefit receiver, but thinks she can come on and like mock people while eating toast. Like that's the thing. And that's so many people have pointed this out in TikToks, and it makes me furious that it's not just that she's like making fun of people on food stamps or like being nasty to them or whatever, but that she's specifically like eating as she's talking about people who might not have money for food next month. Like that's the part that I think is the most heinous. And I think it's so calculated. And I hope she gets fired. And I hope that this is hard for her. And I hope that she has trouble figuring out where she's going to buy food in November. Like that's what this whole timeline has done to me is I have lost so much of my empathy and compassion for other people. I am conserving my empathy and my kindness for people who deserve it. And that bitch can go die mad about it. I don't care. Oh, so that's just getting that off my chest. I was like, oh, she is a keyboard warrior, correct. I don't really know what you mean by that. So she's a maggot. For me, the keyboard warriors are the really like far left woke. I hate that woke has become like a like dog whistle for conservatism, but like it's for me it's all the like lefty kids who are like researching everything and like getting racists fired and things like that, but then sometimes they come into the comment and they're mad about things, or all the people who are making the weird things about Taylor Swift, like saying she's racist because she referred to the night sky as onyx. And I was like, have you looked outside at night? Full video coming on that at some point. I made a full video and I just have to agree. I just have to sorry, I read a comment. I just have to it would just annoyed me so much with some of the hot takes about Taylor Swift that was so ridiculous. Um Yeah, and she keeps posting. So now she's like turned off comments and she posted some new video about how she was ready to throw hands with somebody and it's like, oh, it's so wild. It's so wild. But yeah, let's talk about happier things. Let's talk about Danessa Myricks because I got a package today. So Danessa Myricks, let's talk about my troubled history with Danessa Myricks because I'm really sort of all over the place in terms of how I feel about Danessa Myricks. Because I feel like some real inconsistencies that I've seen. Um, I have heard really good things about the complexion stuff. I haven't tried any of it. But I've heard it from people that don't have the type of skin that I have. So I have oily skin. Most of the people that I've heard really rave about like the yummy skin have been normal skin to dry skin. And I think some of I haven't looked at it for a while, but I think some of the buzzwords that I've seen indicate like radiant or like glowing, which makes me think it's not going to be for me necessarily. Um and so I haven't tried the complexion, but I hear that that's wonderful. I have tried the little squeezy tube eyeshadows. Hey, Lock, how's it going? I've tried the little squeezy tube eyeshadow. I just hate them. I just hate them. They dry and they crack, and I want them to work because they're so beautiful in the tube. There's one that I have. I probably have it sitting here. Um, no, I don't. I think it's called Milky Way, where it's like a silver gold mix, and it's so beautiful, and it just cracks. I mean, it's like putting when you put a clay mask on, and then it dries, and if you move your face, how it like cracks like that. That's what those shadows do. It drives me crazy. And so maybe I'm putting too much on, and so it's probably just not for me. Like I'm a big old drag queen. I need a lot of color. I need a lot of coverage. So it's probably just not for me. That's fine. And then we had this fiasco. I did a whole video about this. You can check that on my channel. The Danessa Myricks Love is Love palette. This was her Pride palette. Last year, she did this for Pride. Look at that beautiful cover with all of those hearts representing a bunch of different flags. So we've got like the bi flag, we've got the progress flag. I forget which this one is. I think it's gender non-conforming or it's aromantic. I can't remember, but there's all these the trans flag, the original pride flag, and so there's all of these. Another one that I don't really remember, and clearly I'm confused by the like reversal here. Um, uh, Look at this beautiful cover and this beautiful representation, and then what we got inside is so mind-boggling. What is that? What is that? What is that? What? What is happening here? The pan design, I mean, it's gonna send me into like apoplectic shock. I can't take it. I can't take it. Oh, I can't take it. It's just so weird to have all of this like perfect representation in the cover, and then that's what you give us inside. It's wild. But one thing I do love are the Lightworks palettes. I think that they're always beautiful. I think they're always perfectly executed. I think her pressed shadows are amazing. And so I was very, very excited. Lock, I have oily combination, and my fave is yummy skin. Balm powder. Okay, it's a primer or glowy, and it's not my preference. Yeah, I've worried that everybody describes them as like glowy or radiant, and that for me is always like, ugh. But if you like the balm powder, I might try that because I am oily, and the minute I see the word radiant, that's such a like cue word for me of like it's time to exit stage left. It's time to go. It's time to go, girl. Like it's we gotta go. Oh, anybody else watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? That's all I think of is when they stole Titus's voice and turned it into like a bladder for a commercial. It's time to go, girl. I love it. Yeah, and the powders, like I've played with them and they are beautiful, but I'm just like I'm so confused. I'm so confused. And Danessa Myricks, you can see it in the video if you're interested. She has kind of a questionable history with Pride celebrations. I appreciate that she's making some kind of effort, but It's been a little questionable. So, but I do love the quality. So let's get into the things that I love. She has a glowy version of the balm powder. Oh, okay. So I need to make sure that I look for the one that is not glowy. Okay. Thank you for that. Because yeah, I would definitely try it because people rave about it. And I don't try a lot of complexion products, but I I'm always intrigued because people talk so much about how much they love it, but it's always the people that I watch that don't have my skin type. So it's good to know that there is one that might be like as a good primer might be a really good one. So let's go through some of my Danessa Myricks that I have. So my first Danessa Myricks big palette purchase. This has a special place in my heart. This is the Lightworks Volume 4. And the reason why this has such a special place in my heart is because this is the palette that I used in my very first collab ever on YouTube. This is when, I mean, I'm still a tiny, tiny fish, but I was maybe like 200 subscribers, 250 subscribers. Like I was really still very early in my journey. And Makeup by Torrance, I'd been going to his premiere chats. I found him through, I was searching for something related to Teresa is Dead, and she always talks about alien sluts. That's her thing with highlighters, is she always wanted an alien slut highlighter. And so I was searching something with alien slut makeup, and his tutorial came up, and so I watched it, and then I started watching more of his stuff. And when I subscribed, I started getting notifications that he used to do, so not a live like this, but he would do premieres. And so with a premiere, it's like when the video goes live, it just starts playing. And so for the first however long that video is, so if it's a 30-minute video, for the first 30 minutes that it goes live, it plays as like a movie, and you can only jump in at the point where it's playing, and then you can replay it afterwards. But they have a live chat element along with a premiere. So he would do these live chats where usually his videos, I think, would go live at like 7 p.m. Central. And so we would come in, we would chat, and we would, um, excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I'd like to say that it's allergy season, but I'm to the point now where my allergies are just all year round. So I don't know. Something's making me froggy today. But so we would always chat or whatever. And so I just was, and then connected on Instagram, and we would chat a little bit and send memes back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And so then one day I was just like, I'm just going to ask, because he was talking about how he bought this and he wasn't sure like what he was going to do with it, or he didn't really have a plan. And so I was like, now's my chance. And so I just like Instagram messaged him, and I was like, would you ever want to do a collab? I think it could be really fun to take this and do a palette bingo. So we did a palette bingo with this. If we go on much longer, I may have to go grab a drink, but we'll keep it together for now. But so this was the one that we used for our palette bingo. We had so much fun. It was really good. I still chat a little bit with Makeup by Torrance. I wish his channel, I wish he would come back to YouTube because I really miss it. But yeah, I love it. My version. It's a wonderful brand. I always find myself wanting everything my fantasy self, but reality is not everything works the way I prefer. Yeah, I got really drawn in. There were a lot of people that I know that were really about that groundwork palette, the one that's all brown, and then they did one that was all berry, which it's so basic, so clearly not made for this clown face. And so, but I was like, everybody was so excited about it that I was like, do I need that? Do I need that? And I was like, No, this this is the Danessa Myricks for you, not all brown shades and all berry shades, like not where they come in cream and powder, and I don't even like cream eyeshadows. So, hello, Ellie Mae, how's it going? The Baja Fresh Pie. Oh, I don't know what that is, but that sounds, is that isn't like Mountain Dew Baja Blast, like made into like a silk pie, is it? Sorry if I'm an idiot, but that's the first thing I thought of, and it actually makes me kind of excited if they would do something like that. Updating your eBay. Ooh, selling some goodies. Drop your eBay in the chat. Let us know. Although it's probably eBay UK, so you can shop internationally on other eBays, but oh yes, Baja Blast, good, because I that sounds good because I love Baja Blast. I'm really here for it. But yeah, Ellie Mae, drop your what is it called? Oh my god. Your handle. um your handle in the chat because on the replays you never know who might watch. So yeah, so let's talk about some more Danessa Myricks. We also have this one I picked up on clearance. This is the Lightwork 3. So the first one I got was the Lightwork 4. Oh, oh no, I smudged it. Okay. This is the Lightwork Volume 3. So this was a smaller version. And this had some repeats from an earlier one, I think. No, maybe it's not this one. There was one where there was bigger pans. It was like a highlighter palette, and then they made some of them into. Maybe it is this one because I think this Strawberry Moon was one of them. But yeah, so this is the Lightworks Volume 3. Then we have the Lightworks, because the Lightworks are the holiday palettes. So these are the ones that it's kind of become like my yearly tradition, is I pick up the Lightworks palette. And so this is the Lightworks Volume 5. This came out the year after the one that Torrance and I did the collab with. All beautiful, sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. Love that. And then last year's, and this is what drove me crazy. So Danessa Myricks, that Pride palette, which was so little pride to it. I mean, the cover did not, the contents inside did not deliver. And then what made it worse? Oh, was that what it was? There was a larger Lightworks Volume 3. But wasn't there a highlighter palette that was a Lightworks highlighter? Am I imagining that? Is Nana having a fugue state? Like, I thought I remembered a highlighter palette. I thought Strawberry Moon, or maybe just Lightworks 3 had bigger pans. Um, yeah, my memory is foggy. So after we had that Pride fiasco, then this is what she puts out in December for the holiday palette. This is the Lightworks 6. And this is the first one of these Freedom palettes, which we're going to talk about. And this is, you can see, a beautiful rainbow palette. And I know that the tradition is to have the big expensive palette is the holiday release. I get that. But clearly you can put together a pretty fantastic rainbow palette. So how did Pride end up that? Let's get that again. I still am mad about this. I'm still mad about it. I will never declutter this because I just look at it a little bit and rage. Because this was what we got for Pride. And then comes along in December and gives us this rainbow treasure. Like, what is happening? What's happening? Am I having a stroke? I don't know. I can't tell. What is happening? So that makes this even just a little bit worse, this Pride palette. So mad about it. I'll be mad forever. I'm a Capricorn. I can hold a grudge until I'm cold and dead in the ground. More of the smaller versions. The smaller one, I enjoy it. Starting to turn. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, I hate when eyeshadow palettes. Usually, as long as they don't start changing and doing weird things, I will keep things for ages. But as we saw when in the last declutter, when I pulled out a melt palette and it just had like mold growing, and I'm like, I haven't even had that long. The highlighter one too. Yeah, I thought there was a highlighter palette. I thought it wasn't. There was a Lightworks with the larger pans in the here. Oh, maybe that's okay. The larger pans in the middle. Her first two Lightworks were larger square pans that seem to be. Oh yeah, because I don't have anything before Lightworks 3, so I didn't. I think I wasn't aware of the brand at that time, and excuse me. I don't know why I'm so froggy today. Larger square pans that seem to be solely highlighter. Interesting. I'm gonna have to Google because I just want to see what that looks like. But yeah, so this was last year's holiday release, was the Lightworks 6. And it's this freedom system. And I do like this, and I might actually play around with this. Let me see. I had a little tool at one point, and of course, am I gonna be able to find it? Probably not. Because that would be too easy. Where is my little, usually it's sitting right here, but then I've got this dumb scissor. I keep grabbing at this, so I'm going to put that back in its little spot. Might take another one of the projects while I'm on vacation is organizing more of my makeup. So there may be more declutters as we go through. Yeah, my throat organism that is causing me problems. I borrowed it from Dion. Oh, so I might be able to do this on my, okay, nope. Oh, here's a different one. Okay, I had a different one, a little tool. Because what I like about this so much, and so many of you, you probably all know this, except maybe Mama Champagne. I don't think she follows Danessa Myricks. So this might just be for you. Yes. So that's what's great about this. The freedom system is that each of these comes out. So you can rearrange these. And if you don't want to have this big bulky thing in your collection, if you want it to store a little bit more compact, or if you want to change it up for travel, you can actually take this. This is the one I always have the most trouble with, is getting there. This thing, the little nameplate on the top comes off, and all of these smaller individual ones are magnetized. So you could stack all three of these together and then put that on top. And now you've got a little, and you can just bring one if you want, or you can put all of them together. So you can kind of stack them. And now these will be interchangeable with the new one that we're going to see very soon. And Dion, you are correct in that. Oh, I took my little magnet thing over there. All of the shadows are also magnetic. And so we have that. So you can take it out. I don't know why I do know why I did this, because I rearranged, I did that over at my other desk. I rearranged the What's Up Beauty from the declutter. And so I took my other magnet. I had a magnet over there, but the handle had kind of broken off. They're those little blend bunny ones. And I took it over there because the little broken handle one, I wanted the one that had the full handle. I think I can get it. Yep. Oh. So yeah, so all of these shades are also magnetic. And so you can change up all of the different shades. And so let me put that back together. And so then sometime this year, I don't remember exactly when it was, I waited a little while to order it, but I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get it. So I waited until there was some kind of sale or something, but then she put out a little individual palette that's got the little nameplate mirror. And these are some pastel shades. So there's like two kind of minty green, there's two kind of lilac ones, and then there's two kind of beigey browns. And so then they had a little extender to that. And then the holiday palette, we're finally getting to it, is this one. This is the Lightwork Volume 7 Freedom Palette. Now this one, because Danessa Myricks is known for these Lightworks palettes always being like shimmer, um, multi-chrome, duochrome, metallic foils, all kinds of beautiful, beautiful um, options. There we go. Open. Thank you. But this one actually has 5 mats in it. So this is very fun. So let me... How many dumb drag queens does it take to open a box? Okay. There we go. Okay. So UPS just dropped this off a little while ago. Oh, yes, and then I think I decluttered, I think I sent it to the thrift store, but they do, if you wanna keep yours as just the small stacks, they also send this little, like, fun little pouch that you can store them in, which I think is really fun. Um, Dion, why am I so excited? My lids don't like them. Sometimes we're just excited for other people's excitement. I think that's a worthwhile thing. Yeah. Hello, Annaboo, how you doing? Yes, so now we're finally getting this open. Hello, hello. We are looking at the new Danessa Myricks Lightworks 7. And so let's... Ooh, this is kind of fun. There's some padding behind there to protect the shadows, but it looks like it's a lighter, more see-through version of this is kind of see-through, but it's such a dark, like smoky quartz kind of color that this one is much more see-through. So let's see if this padding did its job and protected all the shadows. Sephora does a pretty good job of packaging things, so I wasn't too worried. But yeah, so we've got the little plastic. I usually keep these if they have the shade names or the formula on them, but for that one, I don't think I'll keep it. But once again, we have, so yeah, once again, this time we have kind of more of a rose gold nameplate. So it's a little bit different than the other ones. And then here is, oh, the plastic. These little peely things are so satisfying. So here is this year's palette, fresh out of the box. So we've got this kind of green, brown, gold sort of situation. Then we've got some plummy purples with some slightly cooler tone neutrals. And then we've got this kind of blue, black, gray. These lights are, oh, if I get really close, maybe it'll show it a little bit better. Now, some of these are just really, really pale, but I think that they're getting a little bit more blown out. So like this shade and this shade are both like those white-based duochromes that have a nice shift. So that's why they just appear white on camera, because they kind of just are. This reversal always gets me. This kind of lighter beige is a little bit darker than it looks on camera. Um, oh, Janet, what are you getting today? Janet's got a palette out for delivery as well. I think the only thing I'm waiting on right now is so this arrived today, and then I've got the Trixie Cosmetics, the Queen Pin collection, that bowling themed collection that's very cute, very autumnal. Can we talk about how when I left my house at 10:15 this morning, there was still frost on my windshield, and I'm gonna need to speak to a manager. I'm gonna have to like harness my inner Karen because I need fall to last more than like 2 weeks. If you're gonna have frost in the mornings, I understand it's cool, it's crisp, it's fall. By 10 a.m., it should be gone. It should be melted off. It should be gone. But no, I had to scrape. It wasn't like real hard frost. It was that soft, squishy, like it comes off really easily, but it was still frost, and I still had to scrape it, and I'm not happy about it. Um, yeah. So Janet, tell us what you're getting. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Annaboo. Yes, Dion loves that woman, and so yeah, so you can appreciate other people making fabulous looks. I'm sad that it does not work for you because I know that like Hung Van Gogh, that she is somebody that you really really respect and admire. Yes, the blue in here is really gorgeous. That like beautiful, beautiful blue. Daylight saving time ending will help. Yeah, I hope so. I hope something. Yeah, because I need hoodie weather to last longer than like 2 weeks. That's what I live for. That is my season. All the like skinny cute girls can have summer and they're like hot girl summer, well, whatever. I am fall and spring. I love hoodie weather. If it could be 65 and cloudy every day, maybe 60 and cloudy, 60 to 65. We could have a warm day from time to time and have 65. Excuse me. But yeah, I love hoodie weather and I just need it. I don't want to have to break out the winter coat yet. I'm just not ready for it. So I need it to stay away. Plus, I also my snow removal. So I I can't even get into. It's such a long story and there's so many like plot points of me trying to get like snow service for where I live. So I rent, but I am in charge of clearing the lawn and the snow. And our capitalist society, everything is either going to cost you time or money. And lawn care and snow removal are not things that I care to spend time on. So I spend money on them. Um, I know that I could do it myself. I don't want to do it myself. I don't care to do it myself. That's why I work at this like job that sometimes drives me crazy because I'm like, I want to be able to afford to have someone come and take my snow away. But I've had so many people who are like professionals. They have business cards and websites and like Yelp reviews. I have been ghosted and like had such irresponsible like snow people over the years where like they'll just quit in the middle of the winter or like suddenly like they'll have to fire two employees and they have to cut down on their route and I'm just like, and since I'm not a commercial property, like, so if you have to choose between snow blowing my driveway for 50 bucks or going doing a parking lot. They choose to do the parking lot, obviously, for the business, it's going to pay them hundreds of dollars. So I've had so much trouble. So the one that I found, their service is excellent. They do a fantastic job. They are out. I mean, if there's an inch of snow, if there's even a dusting, they even come for dustings, but it's exorbitantly expensive. And so I am playing the odds. I'm rolling the dice. I can always add another month if I need to, but I filled out my contract and I contracted starting in December. So I just am putting it out into the universe that we need to not have any snows that like stick and need to be cleared until December 1st. After December 1st, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Like let it snow. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Starting December 1st. Up until then, we can have the little dustings. We can have a little bit that like sticks and then maybe goes away. All of that. We cannot have a real snow until December 1st because I am not paying that monthly fee for November. I can't do it. In my heart, it hurts. I can't do it. um Frost twice early October. It's on. Oh, you made a cheeky Space NK order. Is that like, do they have like a store brand, kind of like how Beauty Bay and Ulta? Or did you order other brands, Ellie Mae? What did you order? What did you get? I'm excited. The latest palette from how do they pronounce that? Diavaroon? Divaroon? I've looked at a couple of their palettes. I don't know how to say it, but I've looked at that one that's a collab with S Andromeda. Is that their name? The two nail polishes too. Done. Okay, not weather yet. I do love Seattle, and let me tell you, I used to spend a lot of time in Seattle for work. I used to go there a lot for trainings, and I used to, when I was a trainer, I spent a lot of time in Seattle and Phoenix were the two main areas, and I did go a few other places. Seattle, I love how people in Seattle will love to say, like, oh, it rains all the time here. It rains all the time here. Please, please. It does not. What it does is it mists. That was one of the best things about Seattle is that you would go outside and you would just get hit with like this light mist. It felt like a spa treatment. I'm like, this is not rain. This is like a mister. Like this is beautiful. And the times when it did actually rain, people forgot how to drive. Like people lost their minds. For people who claim that it rains all the time, the minute it was an actual like hard rain, people lost their minds, did not know how to drive. And then a lot of the Uber drivers, because I would Uber back and forth to the office, I didn't rent a car. I was not going to mess with that. I was not going to drive in Seattle traffic. Um, it would always like, so there's this thing that a lot of them use. I think it's called Waze, where it tries to like guess the traffic and it routes you not necessarily based on the like shortest route, but the one that they think is going to be the shortest time based on traffic. And let me tell you, so I would always stay because there weren't really any hotels really near the site, the building where I worked. And so I would just stay on Pike Street because then all the restaurants and all the fun like shopping that I love to do were mostly there. And then I would just, since I was going to have to Uber a distance anyways, and it wasn't that far, I would just then Uber to the office. So I would get an Uber. And so from the building, you would go on this street called Denny Way, which is like one of the main roads. And so you'd go on Denny Way. Well, anytime it rained and it would be raining hard, Waze would always say, "Oh, Denny Way's going to be too busy. You should go up Queen Anne Hill." These Ubers, let me tell you how many times I've been in the back of like a Toyota Prius when it's hard raining and we're like stopped at an almost vertical at a stop sign because the stop sign is at the top of this little like rise. And I was like, we're going to slide down into traffic and die. I was like, this is terrifying. I had always, so sometimes I would get in and I would be like, and I know that they are mad if it takes longer because then that's fewer rides and they don't necessarily get paid more. They do get paid a little bit more for the length of the ride, but it's still within a certain range. But I would be like, I would prefer you take Denny Way. Like, I know it's going to be a little bit longer. I would prefer you take Denny Way. Like, because those and all of them, it's always like a rise and then a stop. And if you are maybe like the first car, you might be able to like get to the flat part to stop. But if you are behind anyone, you are stopped on a like very steep slope. And so it was terrifying. I was always on my phone trying not to look out the window. I mean, Seattle traffic, like, freaked me out anyway, but oh, yes, Dion, replay crew rocks. Yeah, and you have a live set. Yes, it's Thursday. See, now I'm on vacation and immediately all sense of time goes away. Oh, yeah, I hate shoveling snow. I hate lawn maintenance at all. For oh, I just hate it. I refuse to do it. Loathe winter. I don't mind like the first part of winter. So North Dakota winter lasts way too long. Although with climate change, it's shortening up. But like winter lasts for way too long. But those first few snows where it's just like light and pretty and soft. But now also because of climate change, sometimes now our first snow is like slush, and then it like freezes into ice. So it's gotten worse because it used to be the first snow would be like kind of light and fluffy and pretty and it sparkles under the lights and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the climate's not changing. That's a hoax. Um, oh, they do their own home fragrance and body and bath products. Fun. Um, Yes, I love Seattle. I My favorite place, if anybody is in Seattle, goes to Seattle, if you live in Seattle, Don, I don't know if you're still in Seattle, DeWatt Bar and Grill on Pike Street. It is an Indian restaurant. It is the best thing I have ever eaten. It is my favorite restaurant anywhere in the whole entire world. Not my favorite Indian restaurant, my favorite restaurant. It is so good. It is so good. I took a friend because I had a friend that came to help out with a training class, and I was like, "Do you like Indian food?" She's like, "I love Indian food." And I was like, "We are going to Dewad." I was like, "I'm going to change your life," and we went, and we're eating, and we're just like, she kind of looked at me, and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "This is really good." I'm like, "I know." And she's like, "I'm starting to eat to a point where I'm getting uncomfortable." And I was like, "I know." And she was like, "But I can't stop." And I was like, "I know." That's what that place is. It's like even as you start to feel full where it's a little bit uncomfortable, it's so good that you just want to like the basmati rice that they bring that's just like it's just like the carrier food to like put the like dishes on top of. Their basmati rice is so good. I could order that as an entree. It's so good. That's the one thing I miss about traveling is like, oh, there's so many good places right on that because I spent a lot of time right on. I would go up Capitol Hill because like where my hotel was, up the hill was Capitol Hill, and then down the hill was Pike and the fish market and everything. I would go to Can Can Burlesque in the fish market, and I have dinner and the like burlesque show. Hot Mama's Pizza up on Capitol Hill. Cupcake Royale, they have one of their franchise locations up on Capitol Hill. DeWatt, that's my best. And then if you went down like one block over was Pine, which is where the like flagship Sephora is in Seattle. And then across the street was this mall, and they used to have a PF Chang's, and the PF Chang's closed. And it hurt my heart because I also love PF Chang's. I love it. Oh, yeah, the drivers in Seattle, which I think is just any big city. I'm from North Dakota. I'm from Podunk Town, and we have people who drive like idiots, but there's not enough traffic for the idiots to really like seem as scary as they seem in other places where there's just like 10 times more cars. Oh, yeah. All the rain, Locke loves all the rain. I do love a rainy day. As a glasses wearer, that's why I also like hoodie weather because then I can put my hood up and protect my glasses so I'm not having to clean them every single time I go somewhere. But a best of 2025 set. Ooh, fun. A space and cake Christmas stocking. That's cute. Yeah, the Seattle hills are do not, yeah, do not play with those hills. They are, and in the rain when it's like pounding rain and the pavement is like slick, and I'm just like, oh, haven't been. Ooh, where do you live? I was very excited. So one of the later times, I have somebody that I met. So this is kind of a weird long story, but I hope we're all here for fun. But because I've kind of talked about everything. I showed off the Danessa Myricks, so now we're just kind of chatting. But I met someone. So I used to on an old version of my website. So my website, it's a long story. It's gone through like three versions, one version 3.0, and it had to do with like my friend Natalie, who has since passed away. She was the one who really encouraged me after my divorce. She had been talking to me about a website for a while, and then after my divorce, she was like, you need a project. Let's make you a website. And we made the first version. And I'm so thankful to her because I've done so many things with that website that I'm proud of. And it's all because of her encouragement. Absolutely love her. And so I used to do a lot of theater reviews. So then when I was traveling, I was always like, that was the thing. That's why I loved Seattle. Arizona less so. It was harder to find theaters to go to around there, but where I was in Phoenix. But Seattle has a huge art scene, and especially up Capitol Hill, there's a lot of queer and queer friendly arts and culture venues and all this kind of stuff. I've seen like a Ben de la Creme show and just some really fun. The Burlesque has done some really interesting shows. There's a theater that's like right around the corner. There's like this long block that you can kind of go around, and there's a contemporary theater, the Act Theater. And they were always doing shows, and I was always going to shows there. I always loved it. But so I was there one time in October, and I saw that one of the theaters, one of the like local community theaters, was putting on a production of Reefer Madness. But it was opening the day that I left. So it was going to open on, I was there, and I think, I don't, our classes used to be like 3.5 weeks long. So like you're in the fourth week, your class would end on like a Wednesday, and then usually Thursday would wrap up and you'd fly out on a Friday. Or maybe I think I might have been flying on a Thursday because I feel like it opened regular theater openings. It feels like would have been a Thursday, but anyway, whatever it was, it doesn't really matter. Long story short, too late. I was going to be flying out on the day that it opened, so I was like, I want to see this. I want to see if you're going to see Reefer Madness. I mean, it's such a wonderful show anyway. And then in Seattle, which like there's a very strong pop culture there. And so I was like, of course I want to see Reefer Madness in Seattle. So I was looking at this announcement and there wasn't any contact information. So being the Facebook creeper that I am, I did find a list of the cast and I started like stalking them on Facebook and like sending friend requests and sending messages. And I was like, here's the deal. I was like, I really put it forward as like, I do theater reviews on my website. I'm just some dumb drag queen in North Dakota. So like, it's not like I'm a journalist or whatever, but I kind of put that forward and I was like, is there like a final dress rehearsal? Is there like a tech night that you're doing? Because usually the night before you open, you're still running the show. And so I was like, is there something that I could come to? I was like, I don't even care if you charge me. I know that it's not like a full performance. I understand it's like tech, so you might be changing and stopping and doing little things or whatever, but like, is there something that I can go to? And I like a couple people were not people at the show and they're like, go away. And then I found somebody else and they're like, well, I don't really know, but you could talk. And then she like linked me to the director's page. And eventually I got a hold of him and he was like, yeah, he's like, we're doing a tech night. We might stop and like adjust things or things might go wrong or whatever. But if you don't care about that, then we'd love to have you. And I got to go to this like final dress tech night rehearsal performance and it was so good. And one of the women in the cast, she and I started, her name was Michelle. She has also since passed. But um, she does a lot of, she did a lot of theater around Seattle. And so we started talking because she was also super into makeup. So that was like this connection. So we would talk on Facebook about theater and makeup or whatever. And then I was coming to Seattle when she was in a production on Bainbridge Island. So this is where it all comes back to. Dawn, we're going to go back to why this story popped into my head. So she was doing something at this theater in Bainbridge on Bainbridge Island, and they were doing Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And she was like, I want you to come see my show. I'm going to get you tickets. And so she got me a ticket to go. I didn't have anybody to go with me. I was like, I only need one. Because none of my like work friends are big theater people. So I was like, I'll be there. And so I went and I found a little Indian restaurant on the island and had good Indian food. And then I went and saw her after the show and talked to her. And she got me primo seat. I was like, it's kind of like almost like an auditorium kind of seating. So like each row was raised a significant amount. So you didn't have to worry about being behind somebody who was tall. It was that kind of seating. And I was like right in the middle. I was in the middle of the risers and in the very middle. So I had like the best seat. And she got me this ticket for free. It was so sweet. And I got to take so all of this was because Don said that you said that your town like borders Seattle. So like, is it one of the islands or is it a different town? I'm just because I went to Bainbridge and I got to go on the ferry. I got to take the ferry over to Bainbridge Isle, and I had never been on like a big ferry before. I had only been on like little like I like a little harbor tour, like those boats, you know what I mean, like the double decker boats. When I was in Cork, Ireland, I went to did a little harbor tour which was very fun because apparently the Irish army historically has not done very well in any conflict because it would always be like, that's these ruins from this battle we lost. These are the ruins from this battle we lost. And I had done one in Puget Sound in Seattle at one point. So those were the boats I was familiar with. And so then I got my ticket and I'm waiting. I'm getting there early, early. I was like, I'm going to get there early. I'm going to go, and I wanted to make sure that I had time to like eat on the island and like go do the whole thing. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, like more and more people start arriving, and more people start arriving. And I was like, and I had a ticket, but I was like, they run these ferries back and forth. So I was like, what if I was like, I'm not, I wasn't seated really close to the gate, and I was like, should I move closer? Because what if there isn't room? What if I can't get on? This is the kind of ferry where people drive their cars onto the lower level. Like, that's how big it was. But I just my dumb brain could not put it together, and I was like, look, and I was seriously like counting people, like, am I going to be able to make it on air? And it was fine, and it was beautiful, and it was lovely and cold. When you get out on the water, the wind is like super, super cold. But so that was fun. I got to take the ferry over and got to go see a show, and I'm glad that I got to see it because it wasn't too long after that that Michelle passed. So we finally got to like meet in person and have a nice chat. So that was very good. But Cupcake Royale, I love Cupcake Royale. It's so good. Yes, Locke. Oh, DeWatt. Daawat. And it's on like the 9 or 1000, like either the 1000 block or the 900 block of Pike. So it's right where there's like an interchange with the highway, and so like you can come up, so it's kind of like a weird little stretch of street where it looks out over the big highway that's underneath, and it's right on that corner, and like up the hill on the next block is the Homewood Suites because that's where I would always stay. That was my favorite hotel. I absolutely love that. Love it. Oh yeah, cities with hills. That makes me scared. I have never. So I've been. I've been to England, but only the airport. I count it. So like on my little travel journeys, I count it if I'm there long enough to have a meal. And so I did have a meal at the like Heathrow Airport, and so there was like a sushi conveyor belt restaurant, and so I ate there. So I count that I've been there, but I've never been and like traveled around, like London or Liverpool or anything like that. Yeah, I love that area. I love that Capitol Hill down to the fish market. Love it. Bring their young dates. Is Grace here? Have you heard that rumor? Yes, PF Chang's. There's something about PF Chang's. It's one of those like it's kind of like it's like an Applebee's, right? Like it's bordering on fast food, but it's like a little bit elevated. It's like the next step up from like Chipotle and Qdoba and those that are like one step up from like McDonald's and Burger King. So it's a chain restaurant. It's nothing special, but it's so good. I just love it. And that was one of the places that when I would go, because I went to Seattle so often, there was at least one year where I spent more nights during the year in hotel rooms than I spent in my own house. There was legitimately a month where I, like from Seattle, sent a check, or from Arizona, maybe both, where I did not set foot in my house the entire month, but I sent a rent check. And I was like, here you go. I hope, hope somebody's enjoying it. Maybe their spirits will come and take possession. But I enjoyed it because that was the thing, is that was like I knew that I was like, I don't have that kind of money to be like traveling that much and that often. So I was like, you know what? You own my ass from 7:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. And then the time is mine. And I'm going to go to restaurants that I love. I'm going to go see theater. I'm going to go to art exhibits. I'm going to go to museums. And that was like, I really made the most out of those trips. It got a little tiring, so sometimes I'd have to turn down a trip occasionally. And unfortunately, I had a conflict and I didn't get to go to India. I was so sad because that was one place that I always wanted to go because we have a lot of presence in India. Because I did training for like call centers, so we have a big presence in India and in the Philippines. I did get to go to the Philippines. I didn't get to go to India, and I was supposed to go for 3 weeks, and I was so excited. And then they shifted the dates, and I had a conflict that I absolutely could not break, and it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart a lot because I would have loved to do that. Um, Northwest of England, yes, definitely. I That's another place I would love to go back to. Cork, that's a place where I could see myself living, and we have a building there, so I'm like, if things got weird, I could like move to Cork and like I would love it. I really, really enjoyed it, and the weather was beautiful while I was there. But I would love to go to England and see some things. And yes, Jen, I think we're wrapping up. Now I'm just storytelling. Now I'm just kind of chatting because we've talked about. I think what I'm going to do, what I was going to say about all of these freedom palettes, since these are all magnetic and interchangeable, I think what I might do is I might take all of these and I might customize them because I've done that on janessaj.com with like my Bella Butte bar palettes, with my Menagerie Cosmetics palettes, and with my there was one other Adept, I think. And I did post, and so I don't know if I'll do a video, but I might do a post over on the website where I create my like customized, beautiful Danessa Myricks. I kind of like them as they are though. So I'm going to look at them and really kind of think about it. But so that may be something that comes to the channel. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I appreciate everybody stopping by to my random live in the middle of the day. And we're hitting about an hour. That's a good time. I think I like hour I like hour-long lives. I think that's what I like about Jen Love's live, is because that one is less like the chat. She's a much bigger channel, and so there's much less of the like interactive chat with the creator and the people in the chat. And sometimes the chat gets weird over there because she tends to like bring in a wide range of people, let's say. And so where was I going with that? Oh, but so I like the hour long, and I like Jen Love's chats because they're going to be an hour long, and so like you can go into it. And so with that, because I think that if it's less chat, if there's less like actual interaction, that's why I love our little chats, and that's why I love Dion's chats, because then I can go longer and um we can kind of have some fun. But I do also like the idea of like just a nice hour-long chat. Just a nice. Yes, thank you, everybody. Thumbs up. Let's see if I can remember my intro. My intro. Aloha, aloha. I had a miscongeniality moment. Um, Let's see if I can remember my outro. So, yes, Replay Crew rocks. Make sure that you leave a comment down below after this is over. Let's feed the algorithm. And while you're down there, don't forget to give me that thumbs up to tell me you liked the chat, you liked the video. Or if you are like, girl, what are you doing? This is your vacation. You should be at home relaxing. You are a mess. Stop being at work. Go ahead and give me that thumbs down. It is all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified of all future uploads and lives. I try to have at least one video a week. We're shooting to try to have 2 videos a week in October, and sometimes you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, Danessa Myricks horrific. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website. Let's just pretend it's there. Janessa J, the world of champagne at janessaj.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. Let me do one last look. Time for a nap, Mama Champagne. We love that for you. Yes, thank you, Dion, for being here. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Ellie Mae, Locke, and if there's anybody else, Anna Boo was here for a while. Yeah, if there's Grace was here. Uh, then I try to remember where everybody is. So if I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. I don't want to scroll up the chat. I'm going to let you guys go. And but thank you so much for stopping by, Dawn. Yes, Dawn, if you're near Seattle, go to DeWatt. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Everybody have a wonderful day. And until I see you again, bye. And the awkward shutdown. All right, bye.